Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning into and liking Tea and Chocolate. My name is Lauren Spagnolo, if you don't know me. I think most of you do. Tea and Chocolate has been percolating for a couple of years now. And just to backtrack a little bit, I'll just give you some backgrounder. And I was invited years ago when I did my yoga training by a yoga teacher named Farah Nazarali, who created this podcast on Vancouver Community Radio called Drishti Point. And I immediately wanted to join and be one of her producers and help create a lot of great content. And the focus at that time was yoga and meditation and mainly spirituality and anything that kind of, was around that. So I want to thank Farah for giving me the opportunity. Later in life, I created a program on television on Shaw Channel 4 called Empowered. And that was kind of focused on the same thing. It was a bit more expansive. I wanted to include artists as well. And I want to thank Ava Lee Chin for giving me the opportunity. So thanks, Ava. And now Tea and Chocolate. So Tea and Chocolate is about courage. So I've always, through my interviews, I was always wondering how people came to their path, what kind of choices they had to make. And I was always impressed with the amount of courage that they had. So I think I was good to, get the story, out of them and to share that with the audience. That's the main intent. And this is the main intent of this page, is that we can all find something relatable with someone. So if you don't think the title isn't going to intrigue you, it might, because we all have our journey. We all have a story to tell, and we're all storytellers. So why did I call it Tea and Chocolate? Well, when I was going through breast cancer, I, obviously when you get the diagnosis, you go through a period of freak out, and you kind of have to figure out how you were going to deal with it. And I was always like poo-pooed against chemotherapy and radiation. I mean, I did everything I could not to get it, right? Anything natural, and understanding that came from a place of fear, right? So I had to really understand what this journey with cancer was about. And so in that, I wanted to learn more about herbs, and I was always interested in natural nutrition and herbs and what we call herbal infusions / teas. Okay, I'll leave it at that. And I learned a lot about that. I was really interested, and still am interested, in how we connect to the planet, right? The food that we're growing, and the herbs that we grow, and how that nourishes us. So I'm really jazzed about that stuff. It comes really, really natural for me. I'm really loving it. And the chocolate part comes in a place of love of dark organic chocolate. And every time I started my meditation practice in the morning, I would grab a little piece of chocolate before I would sit and lay down, and and maybe it fulfilled something in me, but I really consider it as a daily medicine. So Tea and Chocolate came together that way. And I thought it would be really fun to call this podcast that, this video blog, whatever we want to call it. And if you notice the branding on this page, you'll notice some like kind of polka dots, and they're meant to be like circles. And circles to me are a way of telling our stories, right? We eat in circles. We're sitting at a table in a circle. We might gather around at a meeting, a meditation circle, whatever it is, right? Talking with friends, family, and we pass on stories from generation to generation. One of the most important things for me is to get to know my parents as people, not just them as parents. And the stories that I try and get out of them while they're still here with me, and thank you, my mom and dad, to me are so precious, right? You can't put a monetary value on that. And I can see that these stories, as small as they are, have great value to me. And I reiterate that value back to them so that they see how incredible and how precious their stories are. They're a part of who they are. They're a part of me. They're a part of my siblings. And then the extended family. I think it's really important to contain these stories and perhaps the willingness to share them on. Stories are also about connecting with our ancestors, honoring our ancestors, regardless if they're in your immediate family or outside that. And so I'm going to try and, when the guests come on, we're going to talk about all kinds of things, and hopefully they'll be relatable to you, particularly in this time that we call COVID. We're never going to forget this time called COVID, because everyone is going to have their own story. We're all storytellers. And we're going to come out of this in a very different way. It'll be very interesting to see how we evolve. Some people won't, and some people will. Some people will choose to, some people are more open to. Some of us will need to find more courage to do that. And wherever we are on the path is absolutely okay. So I'll see you next time. So for now, I want to thank you so much for liking this page. You may want to invite others to like this page as well. And I want to give special thanks to my mom and my dad. I've done actually a real full circle in where I am today. And my siblings as well, Walter and Sandra. And there's some specific friends that I really want to thank. Joanne Curtin. I can't even, thank you. Thank you 1,000 times. Rosa Livingstone, utmost thanks. I love you. Thank you so much. And there are other people along the path, both past, present, and those who I will meet in the future, who I want to thank. So I'll see you next time. Take care of yourselves during this opportunity of COVID, of learning and understanding of who we really are. And I'm going to send good blessings, particularly to children around the world right now. And I hope that we find some love and support from each other, and we extend that to others. I'll see you next time. Have a good day.